Perry, and today you'll be going through the Shapeshifting Detective, which is a kind of a choose-your-own-adventure slash murder mystery game by the people who made, I believe it's the people who made Contradiction, Spot the Liar, which is another game in this vein. Obviously, the premise is kind of self-explanatory. You play as a detective who has the ability to change his appearance, or her appearance. And we will start the game. Yeah, we'll erase my old save data. I did beat this game once, but I've been told the killer is randomized for each run, so that's why I'm okay with going through this a second time on stream. The Shapeshifting Detective. Fingers crossed.
You're listening to Radio August. Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe.
Of course not.
It's 5 o'clock, and I'm Alice Monroe with your August update. August police are appealing for information following the murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Miss Shaw's body was discovered last night. Chief DuPont is calling the crime a violent and despicable act. Anyone with information about the murder is urged to get in touch via the department's confidential tip hotline. It's horrible, Poe.
Indeed it is.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is.
You need to learn when to keep your mouth shut. You know why you're here, don't you? Then humor me, the dead girl, and this. What exactly were you thinking? You have one job. Don't get caught. Do you think you can do that this time? It's a rhetorical question. You're going to a town called August. Find Chief DuPont. He's gonna think you're someone else.
I've been told the next game is set in September.
This person. This is who you are now.
So,
Understood?
the chief mechanic of this game, aside from shapeshifting, is that you can actually just throw away answers. Like, when there's a list of questions, I can just choose to not ask that question and get a different response than if I had asked it or made that response. So, like, this is the equivalent of tossing away the answer yes.
Understood? Splendid.
And so we're given the case to solve
If someone
this.
so much as sniffs that you're different, you'll be deprecated. Deprecated.
So the premise is that we are trying to solve
We
this
expect
murder
you
mystery.
to use your ability. Just don't get caught. And never, ever change into a child.
In brighter news, August resident Mia French is celebrating the return of her missing pooch, Barley. The
Yay for
8-month-old
Barley.
basset hound puppy was found outside Daryl's Chicken and Ribs.
And that's 5 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
I'm Violet. Welcome to the guest house. There are some rules. In particular, no shoes in the guest house. The carpets are priceless. Now, how long are you staying for? That's fine. It's yours for as long as you want it. There's not been many visitors of late. Perhaps the murder will bring some tourists in. It's just you and some tarot readers
And
at the moment.
so,
It's deathly
to summarize, we're spending like this guest house, which is basically, I guess, the equivalent of a hotel, is where we're staying for the duration of the murder, and it basically is our main hub where most of the characters interact.
Yes, the murder. You You haven't spoken to the chief yet, have you?
No, we haven't, but we need to talk to the chief.
Chief Dupont. He's the one who booked the room for you. You look
Dupont.
lost. You should probably go and speak to the chief. Your room is just down the hall, last on the left. It has its own back door. The chief said that's the way you'd like it.
Perfect.
Just finishing.
So this is the introduction, Sard. This is basically us introducing ourselves to some of the characters that we're going to meet as both suspects and possibly as assistants.
You don't believe? That sounded serious. You must have a serious job to do. Hi, I'm Bronwyn. Pleased to meet you, Sam. If you'd like a reading.
I love that they choose Sam because that's a unisex name that could be any gender. Sam could be both a male and a female name. So it's pretty clever that they chose that kind of name, something that could be construed as either as ambiguous in terms of what you identify as.
So, what's your question, Sam?
Will I win?
The fool. I'm going to see a lot more of you, aren't I, Sam? Well, enjoy the journey. But remember, not everything is winnable. I'm in room 1 and that's down the hall. Rain's in 2, Lexi's in 3. And which room are you in, Sam? Good. We're neighbors. Just knock if you need me.
So she is basically a traveling psychic.
Neither
Well, not
do
really
I,
psychic.
thought Dimitri. Even in the moon's low gravity, he
Also,
could
hi,
feel his
Kelly.
stomach
Welcome to the
drop
chat.
as his descent quickly accelerated. Dr. Utani checked in with
So
him
we
at
can go to our room. There's nothing we can really do in here as of right now. Not yet. Because we gotta go and meet the chief.
400, 500,
Who is basically
600,
the only reason I bought this
700.
game.
Nearing the end of the rope now, she informed Dimitri at 800 meters.
Visit the chief.
Good, you got my message. Chief Inspector Dupont. I wasn't sure you'd come, but I suppose you're between jobs?
This guy is the guy who played Detective Inspector Jenks from Contradiction, Spot the Liar. He's a great actor, and he is the reason I bought this game. Because I heard he was in it. He is so good. Like, in that hammy kind of way.
Well, we both know that's not true. But I like it. Sam, that's your cover now. So, the job. Dorota Shaw, 21, accomplished cellist, redhead. Strangled. I know who did it, but I need proof. It's the tarot readers. Yes. Keep up, Sam. That's the girl who was murdered. Because they predicted it. The older one, Bronwyn, she came into my office last night talking all crazy and saying Dorota was in trouble. I did my best not to lock her up.
So this guy thinks that the psychic readers are guilty because they predicted the murder. Which, you know, I guess that's a fair assumption, even though, like, you still gotta kind of make a case, because you can't just say that they're guilty.
It all sounded crazy
You
to
gotta
me.
at least try to
Tarot,
prove it.
the spirit world, cards that move, trans-dimensional thingamajigs. To be honest, I thought she'd probably been smoking something, and that's why I didn't take it seriously.
Why isn't she in jail?
Because things. I don't
Because
have enough.
things!
That's where you come in. The free guest house stay isn't free. I need you to work the case and report back to me. Find out things from the inside. Can you do it? Okay. I'll be telling everyone that you've been hired by the Shaws because obviously local law enforcement is either too incompetent or too overworked to solve anything. That gives you a license to talk to people, but only notionally. Don't actually touch people or annoy them. You don't have any real authority, understand? But you help me out, I'll help you. Do I have to spell it out? I'll make your problem go away, or at least sink it to the bottom of a pile of paperwork.
So yeah, basically we solve this case, whatever crime that we did before this, or not as a crime, but like mistake that we made before this gets erased. So that's our character's incentive to solve this case, or to get involved in the case.
Your old town? The problem? Come and find me when you're settled. This is Second Chance Sunday for you, Sam. Don't blow it.
So I can throw this So yeah, again, like, you can either just be up front and ask the chief for an alibi for the night of the murder, or you can toss that question away, because that's kind of a dumb thing to ask somebody who you're hiring to solve the case. So we're going to actually this time just throw that question away.
What do you want to know? She was a cellist, selected for a scholarship
killer
at
in my
Juilliard.
debt, more or less.
Go to the local paper. I'm more of a Bon Jovi fan myself. Don't read the paper, do you? Yesterday, Monday the 9th, at approximately 9 p.m, according to the coroner, we got a call from the mother just after 10 p.m. They're as thick as thieves, covering for each other. Well, except the male one. You'll see what I mean. Obviously. Anyone who walks in, predicts a murder, then that murder happens? Suspicious.
I mean, it also, like, if someone predicts a murder, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're the killer. In fact, I mean, it doesn't really mean anything. They could be involved, they could not be. Either way.
In her bedroom.
But the game knows that. The game is aware that this guy is kind of...
No signs of sexual activity.
Well-meaning, but not really the greatest detective.
There was one thing, but it's strictly between you and me. Dorota had a gold coin in her mouth. I'm being serious now, Sam. Not a word of this. It's the one thing only the killer would know.
Look, this man is a beautiful, beautiful man and a great actor, so I had to play this game. And just in case you missed it, I've already played this, but I've been told that the killer is randomized for each run. So I'm going to play it again, because I feel like I have to at least do this, because this game is actually pretty good. Or at least it entertains me.
Board here, runs the local guest house. Lovely lady. Where are you going with this, Sam? What's she told you?
Remain silent!
Look, if it's about the pills, I already know. Not much. Perhaps you should do some investigating?
He tried again.
So no, we need to go back to the safe
Came heavier,
house,
but there was no
to the
reply.
guest house.
Without knowing what came over him, Dimitri yelled out in frustration and fear, stomping his feet like a frustrated child.
So we get to
Please
start
help me!
paying people some visits.
The breathing suddenly stopped and changed into a deeply unsettling guttural
I mean,
sound.
you'll get the basic premise, Kelly,
Fear slowly
but
starts
again, the
to take
killer is
hold of Dimitri.
randomized, so...
Just when he was
In
about to
theory,
turn around
like,
and run
even
into
if
the
you watch
hallway,
my
the
playthrough,
guttural
your
noise
killer
faded
could be different, so you
into
might
what
get entirely
sounded
different
like a dying
evidence
breath.
for your run.
Held back by doubt, but compelled by curiosity, he approached the source
Also,
of the
is the
sound.
game too loud for you guys?
He reached
Like,
out
just
his
to make
hand,
sure that the audio balance
but no
is
one
okay.
was there. Dimitri was
But I
both
can
perplexed and
change
overcome
that.
by a frightful panic. He felt like he was going mad. Nothing made sense. He just wanted to leave this nightmare and go home. But home was a million miles away. He knew he was alone here.
Jinx
and no one would be
is
coming to help him.
the chief inspector.
It was
We
then
are
that he
the
heard the voices
Shape-Shifting
again
Detective.
whispering to him. As the murmurs grew
Our
louder,
cover
Dimitri
name
was
is
almost
Sam,
able to make out individual
but we have the
words
power to
in a
change our
language wholly
appearance
unknown to him
and voice
or
to
any
match
other man.
any other
Its harsh
NPC in the
consonants
game.
and unearthly vowels chilled him to the bone. Dimitri covered his ears to make it stop.
And we can use that
The nameless
for
voices
our,
only grew
for
more
our,
incessant, hounding him, compelling him to listen until he understood the meanings of their words.
Yeah, let's turn the radio off. Perfect. And leave. Let me see if the subtitles are... Subtitles are on, yes. So, that's just radio chatter, so that's why it wasn't subtitled, but everything else is subtitled. So let's visit Violet again.
I assume you've been to see Chief DuPont already. Not really. I'm sure she was a precious lamb, though.
No, Jenks is the person or yes, Chief Dupont is the person who hired us. So he doesn't know that we're a shapeshifter, but he knows we're really good at solving crimes. And he's more or less fledged it so that we are a private eye who can take care of the case. Dorota was a precious lamb?
Yes, a lamb. Young. Innocent. Lambs get slaughtered, though, don't they?
That's a very suspicious thing to say. Yeah, there are no shots of who Sam is because Sam is the player.
Nice, yes, that's a good description. Actually, I thought she was a bit slutty, to be honest.
I could either ask her, or I could just be silent and let her keep talking.
You should talk to her boyfriend. I'm sure they weren't exclusive. Oscar lives at the vicarage next to the church. Don't tell him I sent you, though. I'm sure he's sick of seeing people already.
Oh. Okay.
They're tarot readers. I'm thinking of asking them to leave, actually.
So basically, like, I can only ask questions and choose to throw questions away if I want to.
Because they may have killed someone. It's not great for my reputation, is it? Stay at Violet's, the home of killers and hobos.
LA Noire actually might be a fun one to go through on stream, because that game is fucking stupid in the best way.
It's not the first time I've harbored killers, Sam. I'm sure it won't be the last. I take clozapine. I think they're for anxiety. I'm a very anxious person.
Do I point out that for schizophrenia, chat, or do I just remain silent and let her keep talking? I'm going to No, I'm gonna just leave that to myself. Let me keep that.
It's the strangest thing. I honestly don't remember. But I imagine I was here or getting groceries somewhere. I've driven by it, never actually been in it.
Alright, and now let's talk to some of the tarot readers. There's Bronwyn, Rain, and Lexi. Bronwyn you've already met. Rain and Lexi we can talk about when we meet them.
Sam, is it? I'm sensing you're not here for a reading. In my room reading, I found a trashy romance novel under the bed. I'm assuming it's Violet's. It's all swooning heroines and brooding vampire Casanovas. Thank God Lexi saved me.
Saved you?
She came to my room to chat for a little while. That was around 9, I think. You can ask her.
You think Violet is trashy? I love the questions you can ask in this game. There's no need to go into that.
Chief Dupont thinks I did it. I'm hoping you'll convince him otherwise. I didn't. We've only been here 2 days. I understand it's suspicious me being a stranger in town, but it's the truth. We saw danger in the cards and we tried to stop it. Trust me, Sam, we're on the same team. We saw it in the cards, not images, feelings, impressions. Tarot can be very powerful. Not these cards. They only tell us what they want us to know.
Interesting. I mean, if you're bored and it's there, I can see why you want to read a trashy romance novel. Like, if you're bored enough that anything's entertaining. Although the fact that she says that her friend saved her from that novel and suggests that she didn't really enjoy it, she was just trying to find a way to pass time. We've gotten our base reading of her so far. I think we can stop for now.
You must be a new guest. Or you're burglaring us. I'm Rain, by the way.
So this is the second of the group.
Pleased to meet you, Sam. Enjoy your stay. The hot water goes off at 9, by the way. So it's cold showers from there on in. It really bugs me.
Seems like an affable young man.
I was in my room. Praying, actually. I don't believe in God, but I was still praying. It didn't work.
What do you believe in?
I don't believe in anything. But I also believe anything is possible, so...
I'm sorry, Rain, I don't have
it's a conundrum.
hands.
I didn't know her. I know she was called Dorota Shaw. She was young, had red hair.
Also, just in case you're
talented
unaware,
musician.
this game is very British. This game is very British.
Next victim? Whoa! Hold on a sec, we don't even know if there's going to be a next victim or not. We'll do another group reading soon, and then we'll have a better idea.
That's it. I figured I might as well try.
We did a reading. A group reading, actually. With a special tarot deck. The three of us get together and read the same cards. Bronwyn says it makes the whole thing stronger or more powerful or something. But I'm pretty sure I'd get the same answers just on my own. Mercury, it's not exactly from here. With a normal tarot deck, you'd have the question, so you'd be the querent. With Mercury, it gives you the question and the answer. The cards themselves. It's a special deck.
I'm very sure the NPC that we spoke to last, Bronwyn, was from Contradiction. I believe she was the lady, one of the first ladies you interview. Yeah, she was definitely in that like the actress was.
I don't have it at the moment. Bronwyn has it.
But yes, now we know that they predicted the murder with a special tarot card deck known as Mercury. Which I don't know if that's an actual thing. Someone's gonna like if anyone's gonna look it up, that's fine. But like for the sake of the story, we'll just go with it. And she said that Brahman has a deck, which we will get to that. But first, let's meet the third of the three psychics, Lexi.
Hi, Sam, is it? Come on in, make yourself at home. Mi casa es su casa. Come on. The cards told us to. Well, the cards in Rain. Tarot gives us a rough direction and he narrows it down with some astrological jiggery pokery. He's basically a walking esoteric library. And if that sounds dull, let me reassure you, it is. No? Well, yeah. Well, no. We have a job to do. I didn't say job. I said job.
A job.
Okay. We make a cheese obelisk, a chob, and depending on the shape of that chob, we get different answers to questions. No, you don't.
The thing you'll learn about Lexi is that she is a terrible liar. Absolutely terrible. To the point of ridiculousness, I might even say. you know, some people are like that, so let's go with it.
I don't know anyone in this town, except for Bronwyn and Rain, obviously, and Violet, and the Chief, and now you. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous.
Yeah, she scares easily.
Good old-fashioned fortune-telling. Well, kind of. We drew a card each and smushed them all together. Do you know what the most dangerous tarot card is? You've done your research. The happy squirrel was vague and mysterious, but not evil.
Okay, they made a special tarot card deck just for the game. That's pretty cool. I might even buy that at some point. We'll see.
The Five of Swords. I think so anyway. There's nothing more dangerous than someone taking whatever they want no matter the cost. Yeah, I did. Rain got the Knight of Wands, that's Dorota, and Bronwyn got the Ten of Swords, which is, well, you know. Swords in general are bad.
Swords in general are bad. They're very pointy, and they stab. As for who the fuck would say Chubb? Lexi, obviously.
She's like my big sister, so pretty well.
I would say the Tower for sure. Because death is given a bad name. It just means a great change. The Tower is really just fucking like the Tower is bad news. It always means catastrophe, no matter what reading you're putting it in. Even the Hanged Man can be positive. Can be interpreted positively. I'll let this die.
You know the Chief's got it all wrong. Ron could never hurt anyone. But I'm sure a smart detective like you can help prove she's innocent.
That won't work on me.
Ah, that's mean. She didn't do it anyway. Chief DuPont's crazy. I was in my room all night with Bronwyn. We were painting our nails.
Can I see your nails?
No, I mean, yeah. I've already cleaned it off.
Yeah, she's a bad liar.
It's 6.
No, we're gonna keep investigating. Visit the guest house. Because here is where the game gets interesting.
Find somewhere safe to transition. You're not a superhero.
So now that we've seen all these characters, we can take their form and interview other people as that character. So, for example, if I were to take... Let's choose Lexi for now.
Hi, I'm Lexi.
Then
I'm Lexi.
Rain and Bronwyn might be more open to talking to me about stuff than if I were playing as, or if I was talking as Sam or as the Chief or as Violet. We are shape-shifting. Lexi is still in her room right now. It's just that we are now taking her form.
What's up, Lexi? I'm sensing something's on your mind.
I'm worried about our alibi.
Don't worry about that. We don't have anything to hide. You're just fine.
Do you think Sam suspects? Am I really fine? Do you think Sam suspects?
Maybe, but it'll be difficult to prove.
Suspicious.
Something's weird, isn't it? Ron seems strange today.
How are you?
You also notice that I can't talk to Lexi as Lexi because the rule is we can't be caught shape-shifting.
Do you think Bronwyn might get falsely imprisoned? It happens all the time.
Are you looking to take over?
No. I'm just worried.
So yeah, I didn't get much out of him, but we could also talk to Violet as Lexi.
Hello, Lexi. What can I do for you?
The police want alibis from everyone for last night.
Well, I don't have one. I literally can't remember what I was doing.
Please don't ask us
Detective,
to leave.
Jenks' character is the chief of police for this town, whereas we're a private eye, kind of, who he has hired off the books to deal with to take care of the case. Through some questionable channels, we're not entirely sure, like what agency we're working for. But whatever we do know that whatever we did on our last job really got people's attention. So we're trying to kind of bury that, and Jenks' character Chief DuPont can do that. So if we solve this case for him, our past goes away.
Have you been speaking to Sam? You're safe for the minute.
That sounds ominous. That sounds ominous.
If one of your crew did murder Dorota, you can't really stay here, can you?
Yes. So when we take DuPont's position, we are taking the position of the chief of police. So we will take Bronwyn's facade.
Hi, I'm Bronwyn. I'm Bronwyn.
And now we'll talk to some of the other people as Bronwyn. And that's how this game really gets going, is when you start taking other people's shapes and using that to get information out of them that they might not otherwise be willing to part with if you're playing as Sam or as another character.
Is there something I can help with, Miss Castle?
Miss Castle?
I hope we're not being too much trouble.
It's very brave of you to tell the chief that Dorota would be murdered and then stick around afterwards. I'd have run for sure.
You strike me as someone braver than that.
I'm brave, but I'm not stupid.
From what I saw on the trophy list or the achievement list, there is like some cross-pollination. But you had to set it up. Like if you're kind of like undercut, like low key about how you talk to people, they don't really talk about it because they have no reason to be suspicious. But if you do start acting weird, I think like then they start saying, okay, who is, like, what are you doing to each other? So I didn't have that problem my last run, but you know that could change. Yeah, and this indicator is just telling us who we are impersonating at any given time.
Bron, something doesn't feel right. I don't know what exactly, but it's not right.
Thoughts on Dorota?
Well, it's hard to say with just one victim. Musical talent, red hair. If there's another, there will be a pattern. Do you think it's another right?
A right?
As in the same thing we were chasing after in Birmingham? I suppose it doesn't really matter. Just have to try and stop it.
Now we're learning stuff.
Stop it? Birmingham? Stop it? Birmingham? Stop it? Birmingham?
Stop it? Birmingham? Stop it? Birmingham? Stop it?
Birmingham?
The Traveller? Dead Girls? Ring any bells?
Traveller?
Bron, you're acting weird. Are you still you?
Of course.
Stop freaking me out. It's not cool in this current climate.
Birmingham? Stop it? Birmingham? Stop it? Birmingham?
Ron, are you okay?
I'm not okay. I'm okay.
Good. It's not our fault this stuff happens. We're just the messengers.
We've seen a lot of stuff.
Are you asking me or telling me? Yes, we've seen a lot of stuff. You seem weird. Just go and regroup or something, then come back and make me feel better about myself.
So now we'll go to our room. And we'll see if Rain has anything to tell
Hello.
us.
I'm Rain.
And we'll leave. And sometimes characters just don't have, like, you can look at and visit Violet, and, like, Violet has nothing to say to Rain, so they just don't have her in the room.
Have you met the new detective yet? We're basically under 24-hour surveillance now.
Do you think Sam's onto us?
Onto what exactly?
The real reason we're here. What we did. The real reason we're here.
I love that it specifically says bluff.
Sam's not a mind reader. At least I don't think so. Just try not to let anything slip.
Rain, I'm so worried about Bronwyn. What are we going to do?
Why are you worried about Bronwyn?
The chief thinks she killed Dorota.
Maybe she did kill Dorota.
Maybe she did kill Dorota. Oh, you know what? I kind of have to ask that.
That's not even funny, Rain. Bronwyn's the least murdery person we know. But okay, let's say she did do it. What possible reason could she have for killing Dorota?
Psychopathic tendencies? Crime of passion?
Maybe. Maybe Bronwyn and Dorota were secretly lovers. And Bronwyn found out that Dorota was seeing someone else and killed her in a jealous fit of rage. Or maybe that's just another one of your twisted late night fantasies, in which case, leave me out of it.
Damn, boy! Your friend can't stand your shitty sex fantasies. And now we can go as the chief.
Hi, Hi, I'm Chief DuPont.
What do people have to say to the chief?
Who knows whether you've made the right decision or not, Claude?
How's Bronwyn been? What were you doing last night?
Claude, we've been through this. I honestly don't remember. I checked my diary and there's no entry, so I was probably here, as always.
How can you not remember, Violet?
I don't know. Which is exactly what I said in my statement. Don't try and get me to contradict myself.
Ha! Funny joke.
How's Bronwyn been?
Overly nice. She's covering her tracks well if she has anything to hide.
What was it I asked you to do? What was it I asked you to do again?
You just told me to report back to you if I noticed anything suspicious. Good grief, Claude. You're a bit young to be losing your marbles already.
I really do hope that, like, I just trigger some, like, Rain is a creepy sex pervert and Lexi has none of it, like, optional dialogue. That would be incredible. Also, I don't know if the Chief Inspector DuPont is the kind of person who would just barge into Bronwyn's room and start talking to her. Because this is kind of what it implies that he would be, like, the fact that no one catches on if you do this suggests that that's just something he would do. Like, it makes sense for Rain or Lexi and Bronwyn to barge to each other's room to just talk to each other because they're friends, or to visit Violet because she's the owner of the hotel. It's kind of weird for the chief inspector to go, "Hey, Bronwyn, I wanna accuse you of murder again in your room," just to tell you what I can do that.
Chief DuPont, what a pleasant surprise. I think we've covered just about everything twice over, but if you think I'm hiding something...
Who are you really, Bronwyn Castle?
Does it bother you, Chief DuPont? Knowing there are things in this world that aren't black and white. You don't know what to file me under, and that makes you uncomfortable. Or perhaps you've already made up your mind about me. Why don't you tell me who you think I am?
You're a con artist.
I haven't asked anyone for a penny.
You're a con artist.
Good evening, Chief Dupont.
Dupont?
Dorota's family, what does the tarot say about them? Bronwyn never been arrested?
Not since I've met her. She's a lawful good type character, if you play D&D.
Lexi ever been in trouble with the police? Have you ever been in trouble with the police?
I've never been convicted, no.
Been charged with anything?
My mind's gone blank.
Uh-oh.
Dorota's
got
family,
something
what
to
does the tarot say
hide.
about them?
I can do a reading, if you want.
Yes.
It's the Five of Cups. It talks about loss and dealing with that loss. I don't think you need a tarot reader to interpret that one.
But man...
Oh, Chief Inspector, you gave me a shock. What is it? What have I done?
Tell me about Bronwyn. What were you doing last night?
Nothing. I mean, I was here all night. This cat's on her. Bron can vouch for me.
Tell me, why are you here in August?
Well, it's not for the nightlife, I can tell you that. This is where the cards told us to go.
I guess you could call it Destiny.
Do you know anyone here?
But Bungie didn't make this game, so it can't be Destiny.
What's wrong with the nightlife?
There isn't any. And sometimes a girl needs a party.
Tell me about Bronwyn.
She's an Aquarius, her favourite colour is green. What else do you need to know?
Is she your lead? Has she killed before? Are you prepared to go to jail for her?
Jail? What for? I've done anything wrong.
Aiding and abetting a criminal.
I'll aid and abet Bronwyn to the day I die, but she's not a criminal.
So... now we'll just return to Sam. And when we hail a cab, we can go to the next chapter of the game.
It's 6 o'clock, and you're listening to Radio August. Police investigating the murder of Dorota Shaw are appealing to the community to help catch her killer. The body of 21-year-old Miss Shaw, an accomplished cellist, was found in her home last night. Police are describing the murder as a violent and despicable act. Monroe?
It's just terrible. Meanwhile, out of respect for the victim and her family, this weekend's Tulip Festival has been postponed. New dates will be announced shortly, so do stay tuned to Radio August for updates.
I heard Dorota Shaw was due to play this weekend.
At the Tulip Festival?
Indeed. I understand why they'd want to postpone it. Tonight the weather will be mostly dry and warm, but be on the lookout for dark clouds on the horizon, as there may be scattered showers. Best take an umbrella, Monroe, so you don't get wet.
You're right in the
I
physics
like getting
of that.
wet. That's 6 o'clock
It
with
does
Poe and
make
Monroe.
it would make sense if the character had a notepad of personality traits, or if I kept one on my person. But that's not really the game we're playing. And the chief, without getting too much into it, the chief is kind of like your mission control, where you can go to him and he'll summarize all of the information you've learned over the course of the investigation. So if you're ever confused or vague on something, like you haven't quite remembered, you always just go to him and he'll recap for you what you've learned, because he is your mission control. The chief is never the killer, because he's the person that you're bouncing ideas off of.
Any more news on Oscar Wainwright?
The chief doesn't know we're a shapeshifter, but he knows we're a good detective. So he knows there's something off about us, but he's not quite sure what it is.
Just the tarot readers. No one else is remotely suspicious compared to them. Dorota's an only child. She lived with her mum and dad. Monday night was movie night, so they'd go and watch the 8 o'clock at the Odeon. Dorota would get the house to herself. They're devastated, naturally. They left town to stay with relatives. You didn't do it, Sam. Although, perhaps I should have made them stay. Rain says he was praying in his room, alone. Nobody corroborates. Bronwyn and Lexi say they were in the same room
You
last
can
night.
actually visit the chief as the other characters.
The tarot readers mentioned Birmingham. You're looking into it. There's some talk about a traveller, whatever that is. Dorota's boyfriend Oscar is in the clear as far as I'm concerned, but I'm still waiting to hear what he tells you. Violet says she doesn't remember last night, but I've got that in hand. That's it.
Yeah, you can go to the chief as like Bronwyn and some of the others, and they will tell you, and that is something that we can do. From what I remember of playing Chapter 1, you didn't really get a lot of good information out of it. Though it might actually be worth it to visit him as Violet. If you visit him as Bronwyn, you really get nothing, because they don't really get along at all. So we might actually pay him a visit dressed as Violet.
Who are you?
I'm a shapeshifting detective.
You're a what? Get out of here before I call the police. I told you to leave. When I see Chief DuPont, there's going to be trouble.
Uh-oh. Oh, that was fun.
I told you to leave.
I'm a bit busy, Sam. Maybe you can go on my behalf.
I told you to leave.
I guess we can't see him until the next chapter. That's fine.
Vicar's son? No, as far as I can tell, Oscar is a good boy. But we've all got different faces now, haven't we, Sam? The masks we wear. I could be a satanic cultist behind closed doors, but you'd never know, would you, Sam? She flaunts herself. Her body. Had boudoir photographs taken. Who do you think those photos were for, Sam? Her mother?
Boudoir photos. Sounds like you know a lot about Dorota.
Ask Zach Weston. He took them.
We got new names.
Zach's the local photographer. You should go and talk to him, Sam. You're good at talking.
Oh, you know what? I probably should just visit Oscar dressed up as Chief DuPont.
At Weston's photographic? Off the high road? It's late, but he's always there. I have a good memory. I'm still holding grudges from when I was 4.
It's funny you should mention that, Anaphysic, because like they do kind of talk a bit more about travelers in the game, and we'll get into that, assuming that we actually start dealing with them. Visit Bronwyn. Get any more questions?
Oh, she gets easily confused. Youth of today. Fine. Chief DuPont was breathing down our necks, so we thought it would be simpler if we stuck together. If these walls weren't separating our rooms, then technically it'd be true. To protect Lexi. None of this is her fault, and she gets anxious easily. I was just trying to take the pressure off. I'm sorry, Sam. I never usually lie. Rain's a big boy. He can handle himself. Besides, I'd be highly suspicious if Rain claimed to be doing anything else other than reading on a Monday night. That's pretty much all he does every night. Yes, he came to see me. He wanted to know that she was okay, spiritually speaking.
Bronwyn. So there's a relationship between Bronwyn and the boyfriend.
He confided in me quite a bit, actually. He seemed to appreciate having someone to talk to, and he knew I couldn't tell anyone what he said.
So now we have two people that we can go talk to him as. And that's Bronwyn and as Chief Dupont.
You should talk to him yourself. He's a lovely lad.
Sam, what can I do for you?
Oh, that's a good joke. And if she gets anxious easily and you were trying to take the pressure off, how many clozapine tablets did you give her?
We're trying to save people.
It's not working.
We have a gift. We have Mercury, the tarot. It tells us where bad things are going to happen, and we try and stop them. We didn't. Lexi used a Ouija board to get the name.
So that...
It kinda did. It's hard getting an exact name out of 78 cards. But considering we'd never heard of Dorota Shaw, it painted a pretty good picture otherwise. No. Lexi needs to give it context from the tarot reading. A lot of the time it comes up with nothing. Or a sordid comment directed at Lexi.
Keep in mind
I think that's why she keeps using it, to be honest.
The clozapine is Violet's, not Lexi's pills. So, I mean, it's possible that she's taking a bit of Violet's stash, but I think Lexi's just a naturally very anxious person.
Once we thought there was going to be a murder, Lexi used the Ouija board to find out the victim's name. It spelled out Dorota. This is going to sound weird. Most people believe Ouija boards contact the dead. So if Lexi contacts a dead person, that person needs to know what happens in the future. Ergo, maybe the person she's contacting is from the future. A time traveler who died here.
I'm gonna let you keep talking.
You don't believe me? Well, ask Lexi or Bron. They've got their own ideas, but my theory is definitely the more plausible.
I love how all of them believe that what they're doing is a thing, but none of them, they all have different theories as to what that thing they're doing is.
Birmingham. We couldn't save anyone there either. The problem with travelers is... Well, let's put a pin in this one, Sam. Let me ask Bronwyn. If she says it's okay to talk about it, it's okay to talk about it.
Alright, I will make sure to let Bronwyn know that I need you to tell me the shit. Trust me, we'll get there. So I had to talk to Oscar as the chief, Oscar as Bronwyn, and Rain as Bronwyn, so I can get some information.
Hi Sam, back from more already? I didn't. How did you find out? Am I in trouble? Ron was worried about me not having an alibi. She was logged in doing phone readings, so she's alright. But there's nothing to prove that I was here. I was though, cross my heart and hope to die. traveller. That's a really old role-playing game, isn't it? Oh, did you now? Well then, you know what I know. I guess you must be a part of our inner circle. How does it feel? Cheeky? Are you flirting with me? God, I'm such a bad judge of character. Just ignore me. No, I think Bronwyn met him though. This morning, he only wanted to see her. I guess he didn't want anyone else to hear what he had to say. Oh, it's just your run-of-the-mill spirit communication device? Want to know how it works?
In this house, we play as ace characters. We are not seducing anybody.
Cool, okay. So Ouija boards send us messages from the spirit world, right? But where is the spirit world? I mean, there's planets and stars and space. The spirit world must be really far away beyond all that.
Go on.
With so far to travel, messages from the spirit world must take ages to get here. Like how light from the sun takes 8 minutes or something to reach us. You still with me?
Hooked on your every word.
You're sweet. Where was I? Oh, so here's my point. The spirit world is actually several hours ahead of us. That's how we get messages about things that haven't happened yet. That's how we got Dorota's name. Because in the spirit world, she was already dead.
Wow.
I know. Mind-blowing.
Yes. Mind-blowing. Absolutely. You're a great person. So now we're going to go.
Your ability isn't endless. It will run out at some point.
And let's play the chief for a bit.
Hi, Hi, I'm Chief DuPont.
Kelly will seduce anybody if I give her the chance, so we aren't seducing anybody. But yeah, it should have been whoa. Let's hail a cab and visit Oscar.
Chief DuPont, there's been loads of people coming around asking questions. I don't even know half of them.
Has Sam been to see you? The detective?
No? Wait, I get it now. Yeah, someone dropped by. I'm not speaking to them though.
You should.
Really? Alright. But I don't think they're taking Dorota's murder seriously enough.
Bronwyn is still prime suspect. Did Dorota collect coins?
You said Rain might be worth investigating too? But he didn't have an alibi. What about the other one? Lexi?
You can check her out too. Doesn't seem capable.
I'm not sure I'll be able to wrangle my way into all of the bedrooms tonight, but I'll try.
Bronwyn.
I know, I agree. Because she tipped you off? If I manage to get into her room, what am I looking for again?
Anything that ties her to the murder.
Okay. That sounds easier said than done though.
So now we know that Oscar only went to Bronwyn because Chief DuPont asked him to, in order to try to find a way to pin Bronwyn to the murder. Kelly, to answer your question, the reason you throw dialogue away is because sometimes you don't want the characters to know what you know. Or you might have a better time just getting them, just coaxing information out of them if you just remain silent and let them keep talking, rather than interrupt them and ask a question. So you kind of have to play it by ear. Sometimes throwing away a question will do nothing. Sometimes it will provide a valuable insight that you might not otherwise have obtained, just by letting the person keep rambling on about what they were talking about. And occasionally, like for example, the one with the gold coins, the chief said that the murder victim Dorota had a coin pendant that was stolen from her, and that was a unique piece of information that nobody but the killer would know. So if we talk about that, then that might compromise our investigation later on. You know what you want? Let's talk to Violet, because Violet...
Why is Sam still questioning me? Do I need to bring up Mr. Hedges again?
Are you threatening me? Who is Mr. Hedges?
Exactly.
What?
Mr. Hedges. The man you asked me to put up, who then, died.
And then what?
And then we buried him together so nobody would find out.
This is
Any of
unique.
this ringing any bells?
I don't remember this conversation.
We buried someone.
Not literally speaking. You took the body and you said you'd bury it, but, I'm an accomplice. We'd both be going down.
Okay, this is interesting. I'm gonna have to talk to the chief about that as Violet. So yeah, let's go to our room, because Bronwyn has some stuff she needs to give us.
Hi, I'm Bronwyn.
And let's visit Rain.
You can tell Sam about Birmingham. What did you tell the police you were doing last night?
I told them the truth, that I was in my room. I'm not sure if they can fact check it, but it's the only alibi I've got. Kind of wish we'd all stuck together now.
When should we do another reading? The police think it's me. When should we do...
You already told us. 8 o'clock. Bron, are you okay?
You can tell Sam about Birmingham.
Well, what can I tell Sam that you haven't already?
You know Sam likes a fact check.
I don't really know Sam. But if you're sure, then I guess I'm sure.
So yeah, so now we can have him talk about Birmingham. That'll be a nice little piece of information to have. And let's see Oscar.
Didn't expect you to come back. Have you contacted Dorota?
No. Yes. She forgives you. Yes.
Really? You actually spoke to her? Did she say anything else? Is she okay? Who killed her?
It's hazy. That's all I got.
Okay. That's okay. She forgives me. I guess she didn't have time to elaborate.
I'm sorry the police ignored our prediction. Do you get on with Dorota's family?
Not really. Especially not now. They're convinced I got her into the wrong crowd or something.
Uh-oh.
Am I really a bad influence?
Yes. No.
Thanks, Bronwyn. I know it's a bit soon, but maybe we can grab coffee sometime? Just to chat about things.
No. Yes. That would be nice.
I like you, Bronwyn. How about soon? How about tonight? I can come to the guest house?
No. Sure.
So it's a date? Sort of. I'll see you soon.
I'm sorry the police ignored our prediction.
Return to the guest house and wait for date.
I'm sorry the police ignored our...
Hi. Hey. Hello.
This is weird.
Sorry, I'm not used to dating so soon.
I don't think
I'm actually not in the mood anymore. It's okay.
Oh, I wasn't sure I was thinking on doing anything, physical.
Get up on the bed. It's okay. We can talk.
Thanks, Bronwyn. I'm still trying to make sense of it all. I noticed I've got some Earl Grey in the hallway. I know it sounds a bit rude, but I'd really like some if you wouldn't mind.
Sure, I'll be right back.
So we're giving him time. Remember that he's trying to search for evidence. So we're giving him time in the room alone to look for evidence. Yeah, that happened.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Just
Yeah, that happened.
how did you know? How did you come up with a name and then she's gone?
She's not gone. How could someone even get into Dorota's bedroom?
The usual way, the front door. Like, it's a
Just
townhouse
go
and
with
she's
it,
on the third
Anaphysic. Just go
So,
with it. Like, don't
there
ask
wasn't
why Bronwyn wasn't in
teleporting
her room
or a big
the whole
ladder.
time.
That's the only way.
It just kind of happened. But, I think I've gotten all we need to out of Bronwyn, so let's go to our room. Let's impersonate Violet for a little bit.
Hello, I'm Violet. I'm Violet.
Because I'm curious as to what the chief has to say about that thing we just learned about what him and Violet did.
Violet,
Sam knows about Mr. Hedges.
I'll handle it, Violet. Just get back to the guest house. Unless something else you need?
Okay. Now, I want to see what happens if I go to Bronwyn as Oscar.
I'm Oscar. Is there anything else I can do?
So let's see what Bronwyn has to say. Oh, she's not there. Cool.
Oscar Wainwright, what a surprise.
I hope he doesn't ask us after this is over. Oh, does no one have anything to say to Oscar? Maybe the chief has something to say to Oscar?
Oscar? What are you doing here?
I want to help.
I know. We've already talked about this. You said you'd get into Bronwyn Castle's room somehow and have a look around.
Why? How?
I don't know.
Do they?
I don't know. Do I look like vulnerable men?
Do I look like vulnerable
Do whatever you
men?
have to, Oscar. I've got to concentrate on some other leads. So, you can go now.
Alright, so let's go around one more time as Sam and see if we can find anything else he might want to fish out. Return to Sam. See.
It's Lexi's. I like to think it works the way most metaphysical things work, through energy. Everything is energy. You, me, that chair. If you focus hard enough on something, you attract energy, like an electrical current that connects A to B
And lights
and
up a
lights up a
bulb.
bulb.
I love how every single one of them has a different explanation for why the Ouija board works. That is incredible. Oh, I guess I had to wait for him to tell me about Birmingham. Yes, you kind of have to go with it in a physic, because, you know, it's psychic nonsense, for the purpose of the plot. See if I can hail a cab and visit Oscar.
No, not to me anyway. She wasn't into fortune telling or any of that stuff.
Because now the Chief Dupont has calmed him down, he's willing to talk to me again.
Yeah, Chief DuPont told me. He thinks it's one of them that killed her. Bronwyn? That's disturbing. That's impossible. I don't think those two ever met. Why would she say that? Not much. They always seemed happy to see me. I don't think they meant it. They wanted Dorota to focus on her music.
I'm just trying to see what these kinds of bluffs actually do. Honestly, I have no real reason for telling him that Dorota and Bronwyn kissed. But I kind of just want to see it.
Yeah, I went round there in the afternoon. Her parents were at work, and we were, you know, hanging out. I left at about 5. Playing football. It was just 5-a-side. Finished at about 9:30. I called her, but she never picked up.
So he has a rock-solid alibi for why he wasn't involved.
Not long, a couple of months maybe. We did care for each other. No one. She was really popular. What, you mean watching us? That's disturbing. No, it couldn't have been. The only place he could have hidden would be in the closet, and I suppose someone could have hidden in the closet.
Have you hidden there
Not
before?
hidden. Well, she liked it. Liked me to watch. Not other guys. Just, she had these, you know, voyeur fantasies.
Yeah, I asked him to describe the fantasies.
She'd ask me to hide in the upstairs closet. And then she'd walk in and strip off. Start touching herself. She got upset if I came out before she'd finished. I'm sorry, is this helping with the investigation? Clothes, mainly. I did see something that freaked me out a bit. She had a wedding dress in there. She knew I'd seen it, but we never talked about it. Not even as a joke. That's personal. I can't really explain it. I'm just floating at the moment. Nothing seems real. Yeah, but she said she couldn't, so...
It's 7 o'clock, and here's the latest August update. Chief DuPont of August Police is urging residents to be vigilant tonight following the brutal murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw. Whilst he stressed that there is no immediate threat to the community at large, residents should be on the lookout until the killer is in police custody. Miss Shaw was found strangled in her bedroom home last night. Poe, I heard she was found by her mother.
Truly awful. Mother caught me up to all sorts of mischief in my bedroom. Also in the news, emergency services were called to the crossroads at Grange Avenue and Church Street following a collision between 2 cars. There are no reports of any serious injuries, but you might want to take a different route for now.
Oh no. It's going to be one of those nights, Poe.
Stay with me, doll. I'll keep you safe.
I'm not going anywhere. That's 7 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
I'm just going to visit the chief before we begin the next chapter. I want to see if he has anything to say.
Yep, that's what he told me too. Not a suspect. Violet told you about Mr. Hedges? Mr. Hedges was one of August's homeless. Actually, probably our only homeless person. We're pretty well off here. No, we called him Mr. Hedges because, well, that's where we found him. I asked Violet to put him up one night, and of all the nights he could have died, he croaked it at the guest house. No, of course not. That's what Violet thinks, but I just drove him off to the morgue and had him processed. Don't tell Violet that, though. We need her on our side.
Should we tell him that Brexy and Longwin were lying about their alibis? Because I don't really see the reason to do that. I'm actually going to leave this one unsaid.
You're just going to sit there and fidget. Rain says he was praying in his room, alone. Nobody corroborates. You say Bronwyn and Lexi's alibis don't add up. Apparently, Lexi used a Ouija board to get Dorota's name. The tarot readers mentioned Birmingham. You're looking into it. There's some talk about a traveller, whatever that is. Oscar's not a suspect. He was playing football last night with lots of witnesses. According to Oscar, Dorota had a wedding dress in her closet, which is strange. Violet says she doesn't remember last night, but I've got that in hand. And finally, you pull the name Zach Weston from somewhere, saying he's the town photographer? I've never run into him. Still, I guess I'm not in the papers that much. That's it.
Alright. So let's move on to the next chapter.
It's 7 o'clock.
And next chapter. So now that we know Zach's name, we can visit him. Since we're playing as Sam, you might as well do that.
Sorry, we're closed. Come back tomorrow or make an appointment online. Yes. What do you want? The Shores. Oh. You mean that girl who got killed? What was her name? Dorothy?
And in case this guy screams creeper to you, that's okay. It does for me too. Or he does for me too.
I see a lot of faces in my studio, but I'm not good with names. Wait. Dorota, I remember now.
You don't remember the person who got killed?
For the August Chronicle, she won some sort of award. I remember her cello. It kept reflecting the flash and ruining the shot. No, I went to her house, along with the reporter. It's better with these human interest stories to capture them in a natural habitat. If you ask me to drive there without my sat-nav, no. No, actually, I've been running a special offer on portraits since she came in for a studio session. Wait there.
He didn't know her name, but now he's willing to offer us these,
as you can see,
boudoir photos.
Photos here. Her on the cello. Now this one's in colour. Beautiful hair. Oh, legs wrapped around. Another one here. Oh, hang on. Do you see what I see? I think she's just a very attractive girl. That's all.
God, he's such a creeper. Cheapers creepers.
What do you mean? Violet needs to mind her own business. I didn't want to mention them out of respect for the dead. You've heard of boudoir photography.
Yes.
Dorota saw my boudoir set and asked me to take some shots. It's all very tasteful. A lot of women have them done as gifts for their husbands or boyfriends or girlfriends, I suppose. She didn't say. Her boyfriend, I assume. Friends, yes. I know Violet very well. Violet takes it very well, actually. I like him like that. With a frosty exterior comes a soft, warm center. I'm sorry my analogy wasn't explicit enough for you. Yes, we have sex.
Yes, we have sex.
Here. I'm usually here most nights. Only the roof rats.
So he's no alibi either.
How did you hear about that? Anyway, it wasn't a date. I was doing a favour for Chief DuPont. Only lasted a few minutes. Are you working with him or not? Look, if you don't want to tell you, then I'm not gonna. No? Who's that?
He took photos of Dorota.
Okay, so this Zach guy was connected to Dorota. Took pictures of her. Were they sleeping together?
I don't know.
You can tell me if she was. I don't care. Look, I mean, if you're going around asking all these questions, if you find out anything like that, I want you to tell me.
Of course.
Thanks, Sam. Don't let me mourn if I shouldn't. What? Boudoir photos? She sent some private photos to me.
I couldn't choose. That's what she said. He already hates me for being a glib little shit.
I get it now. That's why you're asking about Zach Weston. Maybe I should pay him a visit.
That's what she said would have been probably too cruel for this poor boy. I don't know if his heart can take it.
If you have anything else on Zach Weston, let me know. And I'm all for a good boudoir picture, but who are they for? There's definitely a strong connection between those two then. Well, unless they were for Oscar, I don't know. Unless there's someone else about to come out of the woodwork. That's what he says, but no one can back him up. He's on my radar now. I think you're supposed to tell me that. If he was taking photos of Dorota, maybe he fell for her? And the feeling wasn't mutual. Artists have muses, apparently. Wish I had one.
Let's go back to the guest house and have some preliminary conversations. Let's visit Violet.
Do we really have to?
I wonder, I think that actually is a valid path, is to shape into someone and then do some boudoir photography with Zach.
How vulgar. Yes, I suppose that is what he'd say. But I've never let him lay a finger on me. He says we're in a relationship, but he doesn't act like it.
Why doesn't he act like it?
He thinks he's irresistible to women.
Is he?
No.
Fucking vicious put down, but then again, he is a creeper. Like this kid. Creeper kid. What murder mystery would be complete without a creeper kid?
Sam, look, I can't talk right now. I'm doing phone readings. Gotta pay for a job somehow. Lexi's locked in till 8 too. I can sort you out afterwards, yeah?
Alright. Oh yeah, this is the chapter where Bronwyn and Lexi are basically off limits because they're really busy.
We've got to stop meeting like this. Seriously though, Sam, I'm working. Can't it wait? Just give me to 8, okay?
So, Birmingham.
Fine, Sam. Birmingham. Mercury took us to Birmingham. We didn't know what for. We never really know what for. But we turned up. It started with a girl, Ginny. She was South African. I only mention it because that was its thing.
Its thing.
Yeah. We didn't know at the time, but in hindsight, it was after South African girls. 3 to be exact. The Traveller wanted 3. You should ask Bronwyn. She's the one that knows about rights. I just know it normally involves 3, and all 3 share a common attribute. I guess you might call them demons. inasmuch as they can get inside us. They come from other worlds.
So basically, there are planeswalkers who can inhabit the bodies of the people in the planes they visit, and those people are called travelers.
Kind of, yeah. Quantum physics is real, didn't you know? There are many universes. In technical terms, a traveler is a trans-dimensional being far more superior to us, inasmuch as they can choose which reality to hang out in. We just get this one.
Yes, quantum leap, but evil.
Yes, disturbingly. It's actually a lot more complicated than that. They choose a reality/universe where they actually evolve to become the person they're possessing. So they jump in a few million years before our timelines intersect.
So basically, the traveler takes the place of a person by replacing them when they are born. Is what Rain is telling me right now.
They can't just jump into someone. It takes a few hours for that. They make the decision before they travel, which is why we can catch them. Yes, probably. The tarot doesn't just sat-nav us to normal murders. I met him yesterday, doing the rounds, looking for reading work. Actually, oh no. He did mention Dorota.
What about Dorota?
He said there was this girl he was planning to meet up with. Said she was alone every Monday night because her parents go to the cinema. Do you know what that means? It was Dorota Shaw.
Yes, because they say sat nav as opposed to GPS. I guess it's a British thing, like how they call flashlights torches over there. I already visited Violet, I believe. Let me just make sure. Okay, yeah. So now we can do some shape-shifting. Now, notice, because Bronwyn and Lexi are in their rooms the whole time, I can't take their place because they're already like established as being in places. So I can't shapeshift as either one of them for this run. That said, I have a whole bunch of people I can shapeshift as.
Hi, Hi, I'm Chief DuPont.
I am curious to see what Oscar got from his search of Dorota's room, so I'm gonna talk to him as Chief DuPont and see what I can get.
Chief? Again?
Did Dorota have any online friends?
She didn't really use any social networks. Didn't have the time. Mainly just cello.
Go to any clubs or groups?
She helped out at a Rainbows group. I think it's like Cub Scouts for little kids. Did that with her mum. But, I don't know. Unless she was strangled by a 9-year-old.
Alright, so that was useless.
Hello. I know you. You're the police chief.
I understand that you knew Dorota Shaw.
We met briefly, yes. I freelanced for the August Chronicle, and they did a story about her.
Was that the first time you met her? The scholarship to Juilliard?
That's right. We exchanged a few pleasantries. I happened to mention my portrait services, so she booked a session with me.
When was this?
A few weeks ago.
What type of photos do you take?
For the paper? Record shots that any idiot with a phone can take. My studio is where the magic happens. Mainly portraiture, but I dabble in other areas.
Boudoir photography? Dirty pictures? Boudoir photography?
Sometimes, if that's what the client wants. Are you asking for yourself, or...?
It's for the case.
Of course.
Of course. So that didn't give us much of anything. I'm kind of bummed that Oscar didn't want to talk to us about the thing. Let's see, okay, he doesn't have anything to say about Rain. Maybe Violet has something she can tell our poor little chief of police. Or not. Okay. Well, maybe the police chief has something to say about Violet. Say to Violet. Let's give it a shot.
Hello, I'm Violet.
No, you must understand. I need them done for the case.
Violet.
Perfect. I really like this game. This is a good game. Oh yeah, we could talk to Zach as Violet too. That might be fun. Oh, the chief is out, I guess. Nothing to say to Violet.
Well, hello, gorgeous.
Did you? I came over last night, but you weren't here.
Well, that explains why there was no answer when I called you. I was definitely here.
Did you?
Everyone in town's heard. She's a local celebrity now.
Local celebrity? Were you sleeping with her? Were you sleeping with her?
Famous for being murdered? That's how she'll be remembered anyway.
Alright, so that was a bust. Maybe we could run the rounds as Zach, though, and see if Violet has anything to say to him. Possibly even Oscar, too.
I'm Zach Weston.
Or we could
Just
go
sharpening my
as
powers
Rain
of persuasion.
to talk to Zach, because they admit they met at one point.
Zach! What are you doing here? Quick, don't let anyone see you.
Why don't you want anyone to see me? Are you happy Dorota's dead?
I didn't say that. But we both know what Dorota was like. She practically threw herself at you.
She didn't throw herself at me.
Don't play games with me, Zach. You know how insecure I get.
Why don't you want anyone to see? Everyone's talking about...
What? You're the one who said we shouldn't be seen together. What are you doing here?
I wanted to make sure we were still okay.
I guess it just depends on, like, I guess it's just timing. Like, you only have time to ask one question, so you have to ask the best one.
What did you do? What did you say to Sam?
Everyone's talking about Dorota.
I know.
I guess it does kind of suck that you
I
can't
suppose
ask all the
people like
questions.
that attract trouble.
But really, that's
People
part of the
like
game
what?
is knowing what to ask and when to ask it, and even what not to ask, or at least trying to experiment with that to find something that works.
Is that why you killed her?
That's not funny, Zach. What if Sam heard?
Zach, let me stop you there. You are one creepy fellow. Now, I don't know what you had going on with Dorota, but I don't want anything to do with it. Do not come back here. Please.
That is... Rain is now my hero, because that's exactly what I would do if a guy that looked and acted like Zach Wilson came into my room with that creepy ass smile. I wonder what happens if I go see
Hello.
Zach.
I'm Rain.
As the Rain.
Rain! I'm surprised to see you here. I take it you know about Dorota already. All that stuff we talked about yesterday, that's strictly between you and me.
What stuff?
That's the spirit. Now, I think it's best if we don't get caught speaking to each other. Overcautious, I'm sure, but I think it's for the best nonetheless. Maybe we can get together for a lad's night out after this is all blown over. Yeah?
Okay. No, thanks.
Don't be like that. I'm not the bad guy here, you'll see. Maybe some other time then.
Okay. That was creepy. Yeah, even Rain, as you've said in Physics, the local, the quote-unquote dirty boy thinks Zach is too bad. And Rain's not even that, like, he's also not even that dirty. He just has a few, like, he uses a few really weird jokes.
It is quaint, isn't it? It's all my parents had when they died. We're literally sitting in my inheritance.
Man, you say some real creepy shit, Violet. You say some real creepy shit.
Father died first. Heart attack. They found him in the freezer when Mother died. She had a pulmonary embolism. I didn't really talk to them much.
Freezer?
Yes, she kept him in the chest freezer because she didn't want to be alone. Stored him perfectly. Still use it today.
Great. I don't know if I have anyone else to visit right now. I could see if Oscar has anything worth telling me.
I'm Oscar. Is there anything else I can do?
Maybe the chief? Oh. Okay. Yeah, Zach's not to that end.
Sensing the thing with Bronwyn went badly.
Why did you put me up to it?
I need all hands on deck. You're a hand. At least I thought you were.
Nothing happened.
Never mind. At least you tried.
Is there anything else I can do?
No, you've done enough. I'll keep up my end of the bargain, make those speeding tickets go away, though technically you'd have more points than a hedgehog if I kept them. And if I do catch you speeding in August again, Oscar, instant ban. Capiche?
Wow.
Yes, capiche?
It's language. That makes me look cool. You can go now.
I really genuinely enjoy Jenks' actor. That is a good, like, really hammy actor. Although I think it's time we return to Sam. I think this chapter is basically over.
It's 8 o'clock and time for another August update. Police investigating the death of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw have said there's no evidence to connect her boyfriend to the murder. Chief DuPont's statement was delivered in response to speculation from local residents that it was a crime of passion. Miss Shaw's strangled body was found by her mother around 10 p.m. last night in what the chief is calling
Actually,
a
maybe I
puzzling
should
crime.
make a rounds.
I can't believe people are
one last
gossiping
time
already,
with Sam.
Poe.
It's always the person closest to the victim, isn't that what they say?
But that poor boy. A reminder also that due to the murder, this weekend's Tulip Festival has been postponed. New dates will be announced soon. The weather's getting worse tonight with heavy rain forecast. So if you're heading out, you might want to take a jacket. Or a cab.
Or wear the jacket in the cab. That's 8 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
Maybe we go back as Sam to before we go into the next chapter. Just do the rounds real quick, just in case there's any new information we can talk to people.
Rain. Yes, the Tower Reader. Delightful fella, but I couldn't offer him anything. He asked if he could do readings for my customers while they waited. Can't have that really, it's retail ambush. He offered, but I declined. There's no such thing as fate, detective. If there was, you could stop investigating right now. If you're supposed to find a killer, you will. Why put in the effort?
Alright, now let's Chief as well. And let's just talk to Violet in Rain before we head out in the next chapter. Nothing to say, that's fine, but I just want to be sure, because I don't want to miss my chance.
I bet he is. It was that thing I told you about Dorota. I mean, I didn't know it was her then. He wanted to show me these explicit photos of her, but I refused. And that's when he told me about her being alone on Mondays. I wonder who else he told that to.
Okay. So this is actually a good time. That was actually good that we got that information.
It's 8 o'clock.
Sam, I've got news. We've done a reading.
The Five of Swords. That's the same card as yesterday.
Let's hope it's not the Knight of Wands. This doesn't look good.
It's fine. This happens all the time. There are 78 cards in a deck. The same ones come up a lot.
I get it, but we drew the exact same cards yesterday. What are the odds of pulling all three again?
1 in 474,552. I know. I get asked a lot.
Bet it's a Ten of Swords.
Yep. There'll be another murder.
It's happening again. There's going to be another murder. Then Lexi did her thing, and now we have a name. Ellis Monroe.
Ellis Monroe of Poe and Monroe fame will be the next victim.
Sam, do me a favour, go easy on Violet. If we need to get anything out of her, let me deal with it. She'll open up to me. We've got a new target, Ellis Monroe. Rain still says he was praying in his room, alone. You say Bronwyn and Lexi's alibis don't add up. Violet says she doesn't remember last night, but I've got that in hand. Zach Weston says he was in his studio last night. No one corroborates. Oscar's in the clear. He was playing football last night. He said that Dorota had a wedding dress in her closet. Not many people would know that. That's it.
Alright, so now we get to talk to some people. And by the way, the Monroe is based off the Poe and Monroe broadcast we've been hearing between chapters. She is the next victim. Okay, Oscar has nothing to say to me. How about Zach?
Monroe. Everyone knows her. She's a local radio star here. I always get the shot, Sam. One way or another.
Fucking pervert, I swear to Christ.
You must be Sam.
Yes, I'm Sam.
I just got off the phone with Chief DuPont. I can't believe it. First Dorota, now me. Yes. We were friends. I hadn't known her for long, only a few weeks. We met at the gala. I was hosting and she was playing the cello, you know? I guess We talked for a little while, and then she asked me for a drink after the show. After we'd had a few drinks, she invited me back to her house. I thought we were just gonna chat, watch a movie, that sort of thing. Then she kissed me. I was so shocked. She was so attractive. So I kissed her back. This is just between us, right?
Yes, just between
We fooled
us.
around. I don't have many friends, Sam. Everyone thinks because I'm on the radio, I have tons of friends, so nobody ever approaches me. I get lonely. But Dorota was my friend, and I liked making her happy. Poe and Dorota, people I say hi to. I have thousands of followers and subscribers, and they keep me feeling warm when I'm down, but they're not friends. I do get the odd stalker, but that isn't something anyone wants. Oscar. Yeah. She was a bit confused. When we started seeing each other, she didn't like him touching her anymore. I didn't mind. But she did. So I told her if he wanted to get sexual, then maybe she should try something else.
Yeah, so...
I said some guys like to watch. So... tell him it would be sexy if he could look, but he couldn't touch. As far as I know, it worked. The killer was in her wardrobe? What? Well, then it had to be Oscar. He's the only one it could be. That doesn't make any sense. Then she was seeing someone else? No. Someone she knew. Knew she'd be alone? A stalker? It was her mom's. She was saving in case she ever got married.
So we're learning some interesting information from Miss Ellis.
No. Sorry.
We learned a lot about...
I did have a strange dream last night, though.
Dorota.
I was a Hollywood actress, and there were hundreds of magazines and newspapers all piling up on the red carpet, and they all had my picture on the front cover. But the red carpet wasn't carpet. It was a pool of blood, and it seeped through all the pages. Then I woke up. What do you think that means, Sam? I don't know what. I mean, I'm anxious now. Maybe it was predicting Dorota's death. Or mine.
So we've already learned that Dorota's a lesbian. Dorota was seeing Monroe. Monroe set up Dorota to do the voyeur thing with Oscar. We just learned a lot about the case in the span of about 5 minutes.
That sounds reassuring. I hope it's not just words, Sam. You've kind of just asked about Dorota since you got here. Not very well. He's done a few shoots of me and Poe to promote the show. He's fine.
Fine?
He keeps asking me to pose for him. You know, without any clothes on. I always say no.
Probably the smart idea.
We're co-hosts on the radio. Oh, sorry. You know that already. We've been partners for 2 years now. He's a good friend. Can't we be both, Sam? Poe's his radio name. He's actually John Poe. He's on air now, but you can come back at 8:30 if you want to see him. On air? We both were. We broadcast live hourly news reports. It's how we keep our funding.
Alright.
Sam, you forgot your phone.
This game does this thing with jump scares where you know they're coming because the cutscene is different. So it's not scary, but it's trying to be. And I don't like it. I mean, Contradiction did the same thing in a couple of ways. But it's just weird. It's a weird thing to do. Oh yeah, Oscar was gone. And Zach is a lech. Let's go back to the guest house. Let's see what Vowed has to say. Oh hey, it's Creepy Child again. Hey, Creepy Child.
Excellent work. Gold star for you. Oh, hello. This is my goddaughter, Sophia. She's only 9 and she's a maths genius.
Hello.
I have to pop to my room to get something. Be nice to her while I'm gone. Otherwise I might have to smother you in your sleep.
What's your name? I'm Sophia. Pleased to meet you. Do you want to know a secret? Violet was taken by aliens in their ship. She doesn't want anyone to know.
Sorry about that. Sophia, your mother will be here for you soon, so run along and wait.
I'm very certain this child
Now,
only
Sam,
exists.
how can I help you?
I'm very certain the child only exists to talk about the aliens.
She has a wicked imagination for her age. I was seeing and hearing things that weren't there. That's why I'm taking pills. I needed to confide in someone, so I told Chief Dupont. Just Chief Dupont. And now you, apparently. Why are you talking about this again? You understand, every time you mention abduction, it opens up a vault of crushing memories that I'd rather stay locked up.
Okay.
I don't really want to. About a month ago, the guest house was empty and I was alone in my bedroom. All I could hear was dripping. A cold tap. Drip. 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 And then it began. I could smell iron, a strong metallic smell. Then I could taste it on my tongue. And then weightlessness. Like time and space had stopped. That was the first time they took me.
The first time?
It's happened 5 times. Even on clozapine. Get that strange aura, then I'm gone. I had tests for epilepsy, amongst other things. But all the scans were normal.
You're right in physics. Like, severe anxiety can manifest in this way.
No. I have certain flashbacks. It's difficult to explain. I'm stuck in the wall of an enormous room made from these wooden
It's
vines,
also not
except
implausible
the
given that
vines
we are
slowly move
literally a
and drip
shapeshifting
with
detective.
Pain. My head is pushed out like I'm a trophy. If I look to my side, there are others, heads, all prisoners, being experimented on. They rearrange us like decorations, suck us backwards into the darkness and then thrust us back through the wall. And when they return me home, and broken. Cuts. Bruises. Memories. Of course. Poe and Monroe. She's on the
Mood
radio.
whiplash! Holy shit! That was a mood whiplash! Cuts and bruises. Poe and Monroe! Oh, man. Yeah, people underestimate how common hallucinations can be. Even minor ones.
Yes, I believe I did. She was here once for something. Don't remember now.
Alright, so let's see what, we'll go through the rounds of Sam, and we'll probably end it here. Just so that we can probably finish this next week. Oh no, I'll be on call next week, so maybe we'll finish it, maybe we won't. It's hard to tell.
A little bit. What did you want to know? A rite can take many forms, but from what we know about these travelers, it seems to be performing some kind of coming-of-age ceremony.
Coming of age.
We've all known about them for hundreds of years. We just know them by different names. Demons, skinwalkers, Jack the Ripper. They're all travelers. 3 attempts? Yes, that's likely. But 3 victims? That's up to you, Sam. No pressure. I've heard on the radio, but other than that, I don't know anything about her. I want to help though. That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Although we can be sure of one thing. Yeah, she sounded blonde on the radio, but Mercury called her as a redhead. No. I can do a reading if you want.
Yeah, let's do a reading. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Going to an easy topic, just
Nine
to
of
avoid
Cups.
the pain. That makes sense.
This is a very positive card. Is Zach a suspect? Something feels wrong. He's too smug, too self-congratulating, like he's got away with something. I don't like this, Sam. I don't like this one bit at all. Yes, of course. Anything. Why Violet? Do you think she's in danger? You don't think she's involved, do you? Leave it with me, I'll see what I can find out. And don't worry, I'll be super discreet.
We'll leave the coin part out of this. We won't ask her about that. But we will have her looking at keeping an eye on Violet just in case something happens.
So what's the news about Ellis? I feel so useless sitting here. I want to help. Yes, please use me. Tell me what to do. Who's that? Is he a suspect? I guess he must be. Okay, I'm on the case. Just give me a minute to get ready and I'll be off.
It was the 9 of Cups, not the 5 of Cups, Anaphysic, that she read. The 9 of Cups. Not the 5. So we're gonna use these girls as spies, essentially.
In Birmingham, it was a man called Yuri Harris. He worked as a butcher. He beheaded all 3 girls within hours of each other. We couldn't stop it. He pleaded not guilty for reason of temporary insanity. Because he said he'd see us again. In August. Before we even knew it was a month and a place. Yes, I met her at the radio station. I was offering my services. Earning a living's tricky when you travel around as much as we do. And last time I checked, Violet wasn't offering us room and board for free.
Alright. 9 of Cups. Having your wish fulfilled, achieving what you desire, attaining your goal, getting what you want, having your dream come true, feeling satisfied, indulging a little smugness, enjoying the situation just as it is, feeling pleased as a punch, getting the results you hope for. Yeah, generally a positive card. Means that he feels good about himself. Fucking good.
It's 9 o'clock and you're listening to Radio August. Investigations into the murder of 21-year-old Dorota Shaw are continuing this evening. Miss Shaw was found dead in her home at approximately 10 p.m. last night in what police are describing as a puzzling case. Residents are urged to be cautious until the perpetrator is caught. I cannot stress this enough, August. Stay safe out there. You mean the world to me. In other news, Monroe has been detained on urgent business, so you're stuck with me until she returns. Never fear, Monroe fans. We still have lots of pre-recordings, so you can relax with her angelic tones. That's 9 o'clock with Poe and Monroe.
Alright, we're going to keep investigating, because I actually do want to do some shape-shifting and then start talking to other people before this chapter ends. But we're going to hold off on that until the next time we record. Until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this session with the Shapeshifting Detective, as I know I certainly did. I enjoyed this game, even though I've only played it once before. So take care, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.